Hello, my name is Jocelyn Loya. I visited the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles County and will be focusing on the exhibition Becoming Los Angeles. This exhibition has many artists and artifacts that are just full of stories, but you were able to guide through the space however you seemed fit. It was designed so that you start from the past and work your way up to the present. The first pieces of art that caught my attention were these paintings from Edward Dinkins in the late 1800s that depict the missions that were under the military protections of San Diego and Santa Barbara, as they looked to be churches, and it was very obvious throughout the exhibitions that Christianity or Catholic was very big at the beginning of Los Angeles being made, and even now it still seems to have a big part on the county. The next piece of art that caught my attention was a painting Resisting the Mission by Daniel Gonzalez, of a woman who co-led a failed attack on the mission by her people in 1785, but she's still celebrated as a hero by Native American descendants and others. But this painting stood out to me, as you can see, almost feel and see her rage against the mission while the fire is surrounding her and her hands clenched. Next art piece was this painting done by Judith Hernandez. She uses art to explore culture and political injustice, believing art has no boundaries when defending the rights of women, especially Latinas, and it shows in this painting as the woman looks sad and went through many hardships, but she is resilient and proud of who she is from the looks. Another thing that got my attention was this holy water font that was used back in the early 1800s as faith guided many California-born Mexicans through their day-to-day life, as it was common to have devotion objects in their home, and even now it's still very common to have stuff like that at home, on someone, or even in their car. But it really got my attention with how beautiful it is. With the way her wings and face are so detailed, it just caught my eye. Another thing that caught my eye was the display of Helen Jackson's 1884 novel Ramona that was made to draw attention to the mistreatment of Native Americans. Instead, the book was exploited for its romantic interpretations of the early California, being pushed further in the 1890s. But I think what made me so fond of this display was the guitar and painting by Alexander Francis in the 1880s, as both pieces of the display are captivating with how beautiful it is and how expressive they are. Last thing that caught my eye was this painting done by Mildred Sheets, painted in 1934, called Industrials, painted for a department store in downtown LA as part of a federal-funded public work art project for the Great Depression that keeps Americans working, including artists, writers, and playwrights. It caught my eye not only from the scale of it, but how even though there's so much going on, it still correlates with each other as if it's telling a story on its own. In conclusion, I have found this exhibit to be very educational and interesting, as I learned things that I didn't know before, and I really liked visiting this type of museum. I found this museum to be fun as well, as they had a lot to show, especially with the fossils area. So if you have never been to it, I do recommend going, as it was my first time. And that'll be all. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope everyone who does have a great day.